Greetings and welcome to the Astronomy Picture of the Day podcast. Today's picture for December 6th of 2025 is titled Apollo 17 at Shorty Crater. So what do we see here? Well, here we see an image taken 53 years ago, back in 1972, and this is the Apollo 17 mission, which is to this date the last time humans have set foot on our moon. Now, of course, there are plans for future landings over the next few years, so it is possible that these will no longer be the last humans on the moon. But here we do see the Apollo 17 astronauts who spent several days exploring the moon, much longer than previous missions, and brought back more samples from Earth than previous missions as well. And in fact, this was an interesting one. This is an area where one of the astronauts, Harrison Schmitt, who was actually a geologist, discovered an orange lunar soil. So something very different. And that's one of the things that is great to have actually humans there rather than exploring things robotically. You can see and actually react to things as you see them instead of in a little bit of a delay as you'd have to with a robotic craft. So here we can see off to the right, the very edge of the crater. And in fact, that's where the astronaut is at this point. And the edge of the crater, known as Shorty Crater, is seen here descending down into the crater off to the right-hand side. Now we can also see the lunar rover there that was used in the later Apollo missions, which allowed the astronauts to travel greater distances from the lunar module than they could earlier on. The first couple of missions, this was not used, and the astronauts would have to walk any distances, so that constrained them to relatively local areas right around the landing site of their lunar module. And the use of the rover then expanded this and allowed them to cover greater distances from the module. Now, that doesn't mean they traveled tremendous distances, but they were able to go much farther away than they could just on foot and able to bring back more samples, which is why they were able to bring back a large amount of material, in fact, over 100 kilograms, over 200 pounds of lunar samples, which we still study here on Earth to this day. Now we can see the soil there and various rocks on the moon being very rocky. The soil is actually not like soil we'd think of here on Earth, which has a lot of organic material, a lot of carbon material, but is actually powdered rock. So it is rock that has been pummeled over billions of years by micrometeorites from space. And what that ends up doing is grinding it into a fine powder, almost the consistency of flour. And that's where we can see very distinct footprints of the astronauts that we've seen images of in the past, because it's very good at forming those, plus the fact that there is no erosion on the moon to wipe out those footprints. So the footprints that these astronauts left back in 1972 in this region of the moon are still there today and actually look as fresh as they did 53 years ago when they were made. So that was our picture of the day for December 6th of 2025. It was titled Apollo 17 at Shorty Crater. We'll be back again tomorrow for the next picture, previewed to be the spectrum of the sun. So we'll see what that is about tomorrow. And until then, have a great day, everyone, and I will see you in class.